Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. My name is Sean Dexter, and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily Bitcoin. And in today's video, we're going to cover Chainlink. Yup, it's been a while, but Chainlink is the coin that we will be discussing other than Bitcoin today. I do want to spend as little time on Bitcoin as possible. I'd actually have rather not spend any time on Bitcoin, but we did have a couple of things happen, or rather confirmed today, that is worth discussing. So here we have Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. So let's go ahead and start with the Ichimoku template. If you guys do not have access to the Mango Ribbon just yet, please go ahead and use the link down below. I also have a couple of videos where I do explain the Mango Ribbon. I have to add to that playlist. I've done 2 videos thus far where I basically discuss how to set up the Mango Ribbon, and number 2, how to, or rather the difference between exponential moving averages and simple moving averages. If you guys do want me to add more videos to that playlist, let me know in the comments down below. I need that kind of motivation, you know, that hey Sean, we want you to do those kind of videos, because the one thing I really hate is to make content and nobody really wants the content, right? So go ahead, motivate me and let me know that you guys actually want more content in that playlist. I'll go ahead and make more videos for that playlist on the Mango Ribbon, strategies, etc. So yeah, link is down below for access to the Mango Ribbon, and just search EMA versus SMA, Mango Ribbon, Mango Research, and you guys should find the videos in regards to the Mango Ribbon. Okay, so going back to what we were talking about, Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, as you can see, came down, tested the Kijun on the weekly time frame. Actually, let me go ahead and pull up the Mango Research dashboard. Okay, so this is a 12-hour. I do want to say that hey, the Mango Research dashboard on the weekly time frame, if you guys do have access to the premium version, was saying we are still in a long, and it's been telling us that we're in a long for a month now, right? So what does that mean? It means that on the weekly time frame, any dip into support areas are buy opportunities, right? And if you go back again to the weekly time frame right over here, dip into support, Kijun was support, that's a buy opportunity, period, right? Until we see an open and a close on the weekly time frame underneath the Kijun, I would not be looking for a aggressive move towards 7,200. Now, on the other time frames, we may see it happen first, or indication rather, to a lower move, but we are not seeing that just yet either, right? So for example, let's go to the 4-day lower time frame. Okay, on the lower time frame, it actually switched neutral. Oh wow, this is amazing confluence with my trading strategy and my trading style. And if you guys remember at the beginning of the video, I said I didn't want to spend too much time on Bitcoin at all. It's because I'm no longer in my Bitcoin trade. I still have the position, but it's completely hedged. So what Bitcoin does right now is not going to affect me at all, other than paying fees. But most of my position is on the futures position, and only very little of it is on the perps, or even the fees. While they may hurt, it's not going to be too much. And I do think shorts are paying longs. But again, kind of digressing over here, and a lot of you guys may not even understand what I mean by futures and longs paying shorts. If you guys want a video on that, let me know. Let me know in the comments down below, and I will explain that too. I just need to fully understand what you guys want explanations on and what you guys don't. So please do not hesitate to let me know in the comments down below. I will make videos based on how many people actually are interested in that kind of video, right? Because remember guys, the one resource that we have the one resource that we can never ever earn back is time. So I really don't like wasting time. I know for sure that you guys appreciate these daily videos, so I keep doing them every single day. If I know you guys actually do appreciate some other kind of content, I will actually go ahead and put effort into that. So going back to what I was saying, weekly time frame said buy the dip. 4-day time frame now is saying neutral, but when we last discussed it, when Bitcoin dipped, it was actually saying long as well, right? And if you go on to the 4-day time frame, and we have support over here on the cloud, but more importantly, we have support on a Mango Ribbon template on the 21 EMA. Our big indicator that we look at very often is the Ichimoku combined with the 21 EMA, right? And that's what the Mango Ribbon gives you access to, by the way, guys. The complete Ichimoku template, not all of it right now, gives you the cloud, which is what's the most important, Tenkin Kijun, the 21 EMA as well as a few other SMAs. So you get access to, basically get the ability to put in 4 EMAs around 2 or 3 simple moving averages, which is why I made a video on the difference between exponential moving averages and simple moving averages. Please go ahead and watch that, by the way. You will pick up a few things that very few traders, even intermediate traders, don't fully understand about EMAs and SMAs. So yeah, don't miss out on those videos. But yeah, 4-day time frame said, the 4-day time frame on the dashboard was saying long at the time. It just switched today, by the way. You see that right over here, 11 hours ago. In fact, when I woke up this morning, I did get out of my positions to rather hedge my Bitcoin positions, and it wasn't based on the 4-day, but it's good to see that the 4-day is confluencing with that. That actually makes me feel really good, and I'm in a really good mood right now. And the reason that's make me feel good is because if you see, the 4-day is still above the 21 EMA, right? Makes you want to stay in your position, but I got out because I had a few criteria on whether I get out of my trade or not, and those triggered this morning. And if you guys did watch yesterday's video, you probably already know why, right? All right, so here on the 4-day time frame, again, we are above the cloud, above the 21 EMA. If you're still in your trade, that's fine, that's completely fine, right? Especially if you bought this dip over here, and honestly, even if you bought the dip over here and took profits over here, that was still a good trade, still a very, very good trade. So why would you take profits over there? Well, let's go on over to the 3-day time frame and turn on the mango ribbon in specificity. Is that a word, specificity? Right over here, guys, the 10 SMA that we were looking at in yesterday's video, we closed underneath it on the 3-day time frame. So we may actually oscillate over here between the 10 SMA and the 21 EMA, or we may close over this on the next 3-day candle close. If you do, that's going to be a good sign, and especially if we take out these highs over here at around 10,413, well, in that case, it's going to be even stronger, and I'll be looking to get back into my position. For now, hedged, willing to stay out, and the reason for that, guys, I'm going to spend some time talking about this, is because I want to talk about risk, right? I could have stayed in this position. It's going well, right? I've been building this position well in profits. Sean, why would you get out when Bitcoin pumped all the way from down here to there, and you've been sitting pretty ever since around 8,600, building your position, blah, blah, blah. Even added on this dip over here at 9,000-ish, right? And on this dip over here, why have been adding, guys? Well, it was the 2-day 21 EMA combined with the 12-hour mango wine. That's one of the biggest big green flags for me to add to my position. But this time around, number one, I did not add to my position, right? On this dip, right? I just waited. I did not close my position though, right? So what I want to talk about is understanding your risk criteria and your trading personality. So over here, I did not add to my position, but at the same time, I did not close my position. Why? Because my trade thesis was still in play. Everything was still in play until that 2-day candle closed, which didn't until this morning, right? When the dip happened, let me go to the 2-day quickly. When this dip happened all the way to this wick over here, the 2-day candle hadn't closed. Everybody was front running. In fact, even the daily hadn't closed when people were getting wicked out of the position. And there was no reason to do that until we took out 8,600. That was the main low that you had to wait for, and we did not lose that. Right? On the 2-day, we hadn't closed the candle yet, so you have to wait. It is uncomfortable, but I've spent a lot of time talking to you guys about how trading is often uncomfortable, and you have to wait, be patient, and your patience will be rewarded. Sometimes you're punished for patience, sometimes you're rewarded for impatience, but you rather be punished for bad behavior, right, than be rewarded for bad behavior. So closing out your position over here and then price dumping continuously after that would have been you being rewarded for bad behavior, in my opinion. You might be confused with that, but we'll talk about that in another video. That's a long discussion. Okay, so going back to what I was saying, I didn't close my position all over here because the candle hadn't closed. The candle hadn't closed. What happens right after? Well, price pumps and candle closes above 21 MA on the 2-day, 10K on the 2-day, and thesis is still in play. But why did I get on my position? Because I've talked to you guys about this multiple times. When we get so close to the apex over here, right? Essentially, I don't have it drawn, right? When we get so close to a consolidation like this, guys, it's just one of my trading rules. It's more of a discretionary rule that I have to kind of be more artistic about. Not autistic, artistic. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, so let me go ahead and write it down. Artistic, not autistic. Maybe I'm being autistic about it too, but artistic. Is this the word, artistic? I'm being artful about it. Hey, I'm not trying to put down autism or anything, but Yeah, just to all the social justice warriors out there. I don't like being in a position like this, right? Especially if there's another trade opportunity, and there are better trade opportunities. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my risk from my Bitcoin trade and putting it on to another trade. So now this is something nobody talks about. I've not heard anybody talk about it at the very least, but there's something I call risk allocation, right? So people talk about capital allocation, but I talk about, to me, everything's about risk first. So there's risk allocation. If I have risk on Bitcoin, it means that I'm tying up risk on another asset. So I'd rather take this risk and put onto another asset where I can be a lot more comfortable, fits my trading system, blah, 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 blah. So I took out my risk temporarily over here, right, by hedging my position. What do I mean by hedging, guys? So for those of you, again, I'm going to try and explain concepts that I usually assume you guys do already understand. I'm going to try not to do that. But for example, let's say on my perps, on my perpetuals, I long, right? I go long Bitcoin, and I have a position size of 3 BTC. What I could do is I could hedge this position, the entirety of it, or a portion of it, right? Or a portion of it, for example, let's say I want to hedge only a portion of it. I could go on to the September futures contract on Deribit, right? And I could take the opposite side of the trade and short 2 BTC, right? So I'm negative 2 BTC here, and I'm long 3 BTC over here. So my entire position is what? 1 BTC, right? Or I could just short the entire thing, and now my entire position is 0 BTC. But you have to be careful, guys, because often actually, there is a difference, all right, between the perps and the September's price, or the perps and the futures price. It could be a discount or it could be a premium. You have to take that into consideration as well. But we are going completely off track over here, man. I always try to keep Bitcoin videos as short as possible, but as you can see, I'm failing again. So let's go ahead and remove all of this. I have to hit Control-Z, Control-Z, Control-Z. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys have a suggestion for a mouse, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm currently deliberating between the MX Performance, well, the newest version, I think it's called MX Master 2, and the G503 or the Razer Basilisk, blah, 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 some of those. Just let me know. My mouse is giving me issues. Okay, so yeah, what were we talking about? I'm all over the place. Yeah, we're talking about me getting out of my position. It's essentially me hedging because I want to place that risk elsewhere. We closed underneath the 2-day 10 SMA. I was looking for that to close above. If we did, I would have held on. Closed underneath the 3-day 10 SMA. If we closed above, I would have held on. And the only thing that was making me want to hold on to the position was the fact that we closed above the 4-day 10 SMA and the 4-day 21 EMA. But hey, the dashboard says we're gone neutral on the 4-day time frame too. So I am a-okay. So when do we feel bullish about Bitcoin again? Well, Bitcoin isn't bearish. But let's go back to what I was. Let's just start over. On the 4-day time frame, we are essentially looking for a candle close above. You sure want to be super safe, guys? I'd just zoom out and I'd look for a candle close above this region over here. At this time, because there's so many opportunities on other assets in period, not just altcoins, you don't need to rush into a trade over here. Look for candle close about 10,200. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, start with a starter position. You could look for somewhere around 10,050-ish, 4-day candle close. That would be really good. But if you could even get a wick about 10,462, no, actually be ultra safe and look for a wick above this high over here at 10,500.50 on Bitstamp. Of course, check the exchange that you are trading with. If you get that, I would be looking for a big move, at least to around, guys, 12,050-ish, right? Somewhere around these candle close over here. I think it's more like 11,900. But I could just use my hover. The close was at 11,983. Yep, I was correct. So yeah, somewhere around there, that's where I'd be looking for. If we actually get that, right? 4-day wick above this 10,500 high, or a candle close above 10,283-ish, we were looking for that big move. So there's time. No reason to rush. Very similar to what happened over here, by the way, guys. Very similar. You can see the consolidation going on around here at 10,300-ish, and eventually when we start getting those candle closes about these regions, right? These regions, because we had low highs, big high on this 4-day candle close over here above 3,990-ish, right? That's all you have to wait for, or a wick above this, even a tick above 4,180. As soon as you got that pop, 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 yep, it pumped all the way up to 14,000 after that. So this time we pump all the way to what? 14,000, 12,000, or are we looking for 20,000? We'll find out on the next episode of Bitcoin Ball Z. Yeah, so should I talk about today? Honestly, on the 2-day, same story, guys. You could wait for 2-day candle close about the same zone. Okay, same zone between 10,300-ish to around 10,050-ish. Same story. No reason to look at the 3-day or the daily, in my opinion. Not for this at the very least. Daily, you could look at just to look at the overall structure of the chart, but it's not as important to me until we actually start closing candles above the Tenkin over here at around 9,700. So yeah, again, I'm spending too much time on this. We can look at the lower time frames very quickly because we are doing something very interesting over here. I do think so at the very least. What is this, guys? A falling wedge, a falling channel, a bull flag, whatever, man. Either way, there's something going on over here that could lead to cascading effects, whether to the downside or towards the upside. I do feel like this wants to break towards the upside, so be very careful, I think Vishal, by the way, drew this as a potential bull flag, and he might be right, but this is getting too close to I don't know. Either way, something's happening over here. Wait for a break. If you are on the Mango C program, you guys know how to look at this, right? Without falling for the pattern so much, look for the trend break, right? Either look for a trend break to the upside or trend break to the downside, and you know exactly what to look for. Cool. And then we can play that to the downside or to the upside once we see that confirmation along with the volume. Okay, so that's Bitcoin, guys. Now let's get on to the fun stuff, which is essentially LINKBTC. Chainlink. We can start with Chainlink USD, but I do think Chainlink BTC is the more beautiful chart. I've been playing it on the Bitcoin pairing mostly because I want to collect Bitcoin until Chainlink really starts showing that massive strength, right? We kind of saw hints of that massive strength, or of that strength beginning to show, but it kind of withered away. Now, doesn't change the fact that Chainlink BTC is still an extremely beautiful chart. Look at Chainlink over here on the daily time frame. We have this massive trend line, by the way, which is coming in from our weekly levels, right? This is actually holding on a weekly time frame, and we've been playing this to our advantage. We've taken such good trades out of this, and right here, right now, we are seeing it play out yet again on the 17th of June, wicking down into this level, getting supported extremely well. Now, if you do remember, our trade was what? Well, we can go ahead and turn on the Mango ribbon very quickly. This is why I love the Mango ribbon. It gives you such good trades, guys. Right over here, was here, right? No, it was right over here. We had the short position, right, of this Tenkin and the 21 MA, close underneath it, tested it, got rejected. We took our short trade all the way to down where? To that major trend line, right, that we were eyeing well in advance. Now, and what did we do after? Well, we flipped long right over here, right? It was an easy play. I did talk about how, for me, it wasn't actually as easy because of some mindset techniques that I had to work on, but hey, worked on it, took the bounce play over here all the way back to the 21 EMA. Remember, guys, why did we take this play? Because regardless of whether we were in a short trend or rather a downtrend on the daily time frame, the weekly was still in an uptrend, right? So it was easy to be flipping long on weekly support. So that's what you want to do. That's, in that case, you're still playing the trend, right? Because the higher time frames are always going to take priority over the lower time frames. So yes, we were in a downtrend on the daily time frame, lost a Tenkin, lost a 21 EMA, but the weekly time frame was bound to kick in, and we played for that, got the bounce to the 21 EMA, waited for the candle to close above the 21 EMA, did not get that, exited our position, and simply kept taking the same trade off this massive rising trend line every time we saw a good opportunity. Now, let me go ahead and turn off the Mango ribbon. If you guys have been watching the videos for the Chainlink videos at the very least for the past months now, over the last couple of weeks, we were looking at this massive rising wedge into this massive resistance neckline, right? Now, I was long on this one, and in hindsight, of course, hindsight is perfect, 2020, and I could have taken profits over here on this resistance line over here. We had a rising wedge, which is typically bearish, into a resistance line, and I could have taken profits. I did not. In fact, when we put in this low over here and put in a lower high over here, that was another time for me to be taking profits when we took this wick out, this wick over here. I didn't take profits either over there. I actually took profits only when we broke this channel towards the downside and got the retest, right? So that was me actually playing for a bounce on this play and hoping for Chainlink to actually break this bearish formation towards the upside. And yet another example, guys, that even though a bearish formation is in play, you could break to the upside, right? The probability isn't as much, but I actually played for that because, well, I was sitting in profits and I just felt like Chainlink was going to do it. I was wrong on that. Hey, as soon as you're wrong, you wait for your exit, and Chainlink gave us a really, really nice, clean exit. This is why I love Chainlink, guys, because even when it's bearish, it's beautifully bearish, right? Perfect retest of this rising wedge, and even if I do remember, the measured move was perfectly at that 4050 region that we were looking for, right? Remember, we were looking at we kept saying over and over again, I'm looking for 40,050 Satoshi, 40,050 Satoshi, sorry, 40,500 Satoshi, and that's pretty much where we came down, guys. And that's where I didn't take a long here. I took a long at 40,600 Satoshi. Wanted to front run a little bit, but yeah, going back to what I was saying, I think the measured move of this was perfectly there. Okay, no, I do remember. Okay, something else lined up perfectly with that. But the trend line is what I was playing, right? This is a weekly trend line coming up to around 40,500 Satoshi, and I did take a trade. Wasn't a big position at all because this was a spot trade, and I don't like taking big positions or leaving big positions overnight. Number one, I never leave a position overnight on a margin trade. Never ever do that. Okay, now you guys may do that, it's up to you, but I don't do that. A spot trade, I will do that, but even then it's always a portion of my position. Again, it's just some risk measures that I have in place for myself, because you never know what could happen. It could end very, very badly if prices keeps going down, and you wake up to a very, very bad day. So now I am looking at Chainlink. I'm looking to build a position, and I have been building very, very slowly as this begins to show strength. For now, it still has time to go before we see the strength, but I am looking for this to actually get up somewhere to this region over here, perhaps retest this trend line. This is a rising wedge. If this does take time, I'm looking for it to get all the way back up to 46,854 Satoshi. In that case, if we break towards the upside, I'll be looking back towards these highs over here. This essentially the top of this these blue box territories over here. First target around 52,000 and eventually around 53,000 Satoshi. If we break that, that's when the fun starts. That's when we start looking for all new highs and all-time highs on the Bitcoin pairing. Okay, cool. So that's Chainlink BTC. We can go ahead and look at the weekly very, very quickly, and you're pretty much seeing what I was talking about, right? This massive trend line coming in on the weekly time frame. We have these deviations to the upside over here, candle closes, but lower candle closes each time, and then dumping down, but they're still putting in higher lows. So you could look at this as a symmetrical triangle on the weekly time frame if you want to. Completely valid. Higher lows, lower highs. Not the prettiest symmetrical triangle, but a triangle nonetheless. I'm maintaining my bullish outlook on the Chainlink Bitcoin pairing. So let's go ahead and look at Chainlink USD. Let's find another chart. Chainlink, Link USD, Coinbase. Yep. Coinbase should be good. Okay, so clearly this chart's really convoluted right now. Let's go ahead and clean everything out. Start fresh. Oof. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark out some clean support and resistances. We have one over there, of course, one over here, but we have a tighter range going on over here, guys. I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but right over here, right there, right, it's actually staring us in the face. So I'm pretty sure all of you saw it. So as long as we're like oscillating between this range over here, you can pretty much buy around $3.80 and sell at around $4.50, and those are good trades. Yes, you're going to see the volatility, wicks lower, right? Basically wick down to the middle of the range over here, right? So we have a range going on over here too, by the way, between 383 and 344. So if we did flip this range over here, if we did basically lose the support at 387, then this support would turn into what? It would turn into resistance, right? And where's your next target? It would be the middle of the range, because which is okay, let me start again. Essentially, you have a range over here. There's this one range where your resistance line is 450 and your support is 385, okay? And in the middle, you have another level at around 413. That's the middle of your range. Similarly, you have another range. If we lose 385, your new range turns into this region over here, okay? Which is 383 is now turned into resistance, which was initially support because you flipped it, but we haven't flipped it yet. But if we had lost it, and then the middle of your range would be 362, which we wicked off and close above the potential support on resistance, and your support after this would be around 342. Okay, so that's the essential levels that we're looking for towards the underside. 383 is currently support. Underneath that, you're looking at 364, and after that 343, but we haven't broken any of that just yet. Now, what do? Well, we are looking to mark our middle of the range, which is somewhere around here. As you can see, we've come and smacked above it, smacked at it. If we close above it at around $4.10, we'd be looking for a test of the upper end of the range over here, again at 450. If we close a weekly candle above 450, guys, again, that's where the fun starts on the USD pairing, and we can look for all-time highs. So there are two ways we can do this. Sorry, not all-time highs. Why am I saying all-time highs? They're looking for new highs. There are two ways we can do this. We can essentially look for a candle close above $4.50, or we can look for a wick above $5. To be honest, I'd be leaning more towards a candle close, because making a wick high could lead to a trap, much like this one over here. Because if you guys do remember, right over here, we had put in a new high, took out these highs over here, and what happens right after? Dumped very, very aggressively, right? Yeah, you don't want to fall into that kind of situation again. Candle closes are just a lot more safer to play with. So yeah, that's Chainlink USD, guys. We can go ahead and look at the daily time frame. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are interested in the lower time frames. The weekly levels are marked out over here. You can see how well we are playing off these weekly time frames. They're really, really important, guys. Right over here too, on the daily, each daily candle was closing underneath that major weekly. Over here you had a deviation, trap, or liquidity pull, close underneath, and dumped fast, right? This was the one where Krisha called that M-like formation, and she called this move all the way down to $1.60 very, very nonchalantly. Surprised everybody, and in a couple of days it actually played out. All right, so that's pretty much it. Again, let's go ahead and talk about the daily. 450 would be a major level to break, but if you're looking for a daily candle close, at the very least, I'd be looking at $4.70. Safest play, however, is to wait for the weekly close. If we lose the bottom of this range over here, that's when it gets ugly on the daily chart. We could wick into it, it's completely fine. We close a candle into this region, guys. I'm looking for much lower. We could see a bounce over here, but eventually all the way down to $2.45. It's likely going to line up with Bitcoin also making a major move towards the downside. I don't see Chainlink dumping on the USD pairing without Bitcoin dumping. I just don't see it happening, but hey, it could happen, right? Nothing's for sure, nothing's for certain. Always manage your risk. My name is Sean Dexter. My name is Sean Dexter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Throw it a like, throw it a subscribe. I'm so famished. I'm gonna go eat. I'll see you guys in the next video.